Hello, Michael Swain here after KU basketball's 68-53 loss on the road to Iowa State. And that was probably about the worst Kansas has played this season. A just lackluster performance from KU from really start to finish outside of maybe a few minutes at the start of the second half. And I think something that Bill Self said post-game I thought really stuck with me, where he said the first few minutes that Kansas played in the second half when they were able to mount a run to make it a 5-point game is what Kansas should be all the time, playing with that sort of body movement, ball movement. I think it's what you saw at times when KU's played at its best this season. They move the ball really well. They move defensively with their men, and that just wasn't the case for most of this game. You got to start with turnovers, I think, 20 overall, the most this season, and the most KU has had since this game last season when they came to Hilton Coliseum and won without Remy Martin and Ochai Agbaji. This is a team that just got all out of whack, and I think it's a credit to Iowa State because they are known for forcing turnovers. They came into the game forcing a turnover a little bit over once every 4 possessions. KU fell right into the trap though, and as soon as things went haywire, KU really wasn't able to right the ship. You know, you look at someone like DeJuan Harris, Kevin McCullough, guys that are, experienced, didn't play their best today. And this is a team that needs to play collectively at their best for them to win games. And you have to come to play every night, or every day in this case, in the Big 12, and Kansas didn't today. Bill Self didn't go so far as to call out the team's effort, but says the intensity was not where it needed to be. Joseph Yesufu said after the game that Coach Self, during their post-game kind of meeting debrief, mentioned that the intensity was not where it needed to be. That's a huge warning for Kansas, considering the fact that there's a team that needs to play with intensity because they don't have a 7-footer on the interior. They don't have guys coming off the bench like Remy Martin and Mitch Lightfoot. The starters have to play well, and the starters have to play with intensity, and they didn't today. All right, a word on Jalen Wilson. This is becoming a theme now. When everyone else on the team is really struggling and can't get it together, he is there to pick up the slack and then some. 26 points, almost half of Kansas's points. And he came into this game averaging about 27% of KU scoring this season, basically 50% today. Kansas would not be here 6-4 in the Big 12 without Jalen Wilson. It's kind of weird to think where they would be without him. It would not be a very good team. He takes the scoring load. He does some of the hard things on this team. He rebounds. He attacks the paint. He had 5 total shot attempts in the second half and still scored 14 points. That's how he does it. It's incredible. He's playing at an incredibly high level. He's probably going to be Big 12 Player of the Year, which means he's going to the rafters. It's just an incredible season, and game after game, he is there to pick up the slack for his teammates, and you have to give him credit for that. He doesn't take a night off. Sure, there are games when, efficiency-wise, he's not where he needs to be, but he is always there to pick up the slack for the team, and I think that's incredibly impressive. And you look at the rest of the team, and I think the desire and the intensity can be taken going forward. Speaking of going forward, this is a banged-up team now. Zach Clements went out with an injury. It's a left knee injury. He's probably going to miss some time. We'll definitely miss the Texas game. You're already without Zuby Ejiofor. So now all of a sudden you go from a plethora of big men to all of a sudden now you just have KJ Adams and Ernest Udeh. And then you look at someone like Kevin McCullough, who's been dealing with the finger injury. Bobby Pettiford did not look the same today. Bill Self said the hamstring injury is still bothering him. This is a team that's going to have 9 available scholarship players come Monday. And you're looking at some of those guys on the bench, and you're wondering if they're going to be able to give you much production. So those starters, again, are going to have to play better. And that's going to be the key for the rest of the season. Do the guys like Kevin McCullough, Grady Dick, DeJuan Harris, KJ Adams, do they step up each game? If they do, Kansas will have a really good shot of competing for the Big 12 title. If they don't, you're looking at Kansas finishing, 3rd in the Big 12, most likely. They're 6-4, Texas on Big Monday. Really big statement opportunity for Kansas to get back on track. But those are my thoughts for right now. Obviously, plenty of coverage up on the website, more coming in the coming days. So make sure you stay tuned. And if you're liking these videos, make sure you like them and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, we'll keep these rolling through basketball season and into the off season.